welcome back to the Heart of Racing, your YouTube channel dedicated to the sport of horse racing. Now, something a bit different today. We're going to be looking at how to read a race card. So like I've said in the past, I'm not a tipster. However, what this video will help you do is become your own tipster. You'll be able to pick winners yourself. So if you know someone who's not interested in racing, or wants to get interested in racing, and is off to the race and wants to learn how to read a race card, this video is going to be perfect for them. So do let them know that this video is here. Right, let's get started. So the race we're going to be using is a handicap hurdle race over 2 miles 4 furlongs. This is from a few years back, so if you see any old names, don't be too scared, because AP McCoy's name will feature here. Right, the name of the race and the type of race is in the top left corner, as you can see here. It says 2 miles 4 furlongs and it is a Class 5 race open to 4-year-olds or older. Handicaps are very common no matter whether you're on the racing flat side or if you're racing on the jump side. What a handicap means is that horse number 1 is judged the best horse in the race by the handicapper. This does not necessarily mean he is going to win, as he'll be carrying more weight. So as we can see here in this race, horse number 1 is carrying 11 stone 12 pounds, horse number 2 is carrying 11 stone 10 pounds, and this will lower all the way down to horse number 10, who will carry the lowest weight. The handicapper will give the horse a rating after each race, determining what weight it will carry in the next race, whether that will be higher weight or lower weight. And you can also see just before the weight it has a single number, which is the age of the horse. So horse 1 is a 6-year-old, horse 2 is a 5-year-old, and so on. The only thing I can look at with age is experience, and what experience that horse might have had, but I don't look into this too much. Right, so the trainer, owner and jockey. Let's start with the trainer. This can be easily found. It's where the T is on the race card, obviously standing for trainer. And for example, horse number 9 here is trained by Chris Gordon. Now, what's good to look at with the trainers is the record they have on the course. In this case, Chris Gordon, he's champion trainer at Fontwell Park, and you can find this in the Racing Post newspaper on the page with the Fontwell card. This will also tell you who rides the most winners for that trainer in that season, and in this case it's Tom Cannon. Tom Cannon's name, the jockey's name, can be found where the J is, obviously standing for jockey. Tom has been champion trainer for Chris for a few years now, and is definitely a partnership worth following. They're certainly one that I follow at the course a lot. The owner can be found where the letter O is. This can be significant, especially if the owner is a big name, such as JP McManus, Godolphin, Sheikh Hamdan Al Maktoum, and there are many more that you may know. I also tend to like the look of it if the trainer owns the horse. I tend to think this means the horse will run very well, and the trainer's got a special liking with this horse. Now, the letter S is for the sponsor, and I wouldn't pay too much attention. It doesn't really do much for the race. If you do have any more questions on the jockeys, trainers or owners, leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer that as soon as possible. Right, now moving on to the most important bit, which is probably the form. And the form is so easy to follow. Let's go with horse number 9 again here. So, horse number 9's form reads U dash 3 3 6 1 2. So what does this mean? This means that the horse was unseated in its last race of the previous season, which the horse, well, it means the horse would have stayed up, but the jockey fell off. Whether this was because the saddle slipped, or whether it was because the horse made a poor jump and the jockey couldn't keep on the horse, this can be found in the Racing Post. So, like I've said many a time, do go and grab yourself a Race Post because it gives you so much more detail on the racing. So then the dash happens. The dash means it's the start of a new season, where then the horse came third, then third again, then sixth, then it won, and then it came second. So now let's have a look at this. So it's in recent winning form, a first and a second is its last 2 runs out. However, it's running 5 races this season. It came third and third, where there were reasonable runs. It then may have stepped up in class, so it might have been a bit more difficult for it, where it then came sixth. Okay, the trainer then might have seen this and gone, okay, right, maybe we go back in class, and I don't know, we go back to a class 5, where it then won. So it's gone, let's say, from a class 4 to a class 5, came 6th in the class 4, then won in the class 5. Okay, it then ran in the class 5 again, for instance, it came 2nd, so it came close again. And today it's running in a class 5 again. So what you've got to do is you've got to look at the Racing Post, and one of the best ways of checking out a horse's form and what it's running is definitely through the Racing Post app on for iPhone on the iOS or for Android, so I would recommend downloading that if you get the chance, because that will give you a lot more in terms of finding out what kind of race the horse was running in, and how it did, because it does tell you about what happened in the race, how it finished the race, whether it struggled, why it struggled. So definitely worth downloading the Racing Post app if you get the chance. Now, other bits of form to look out for, as we can see here with owner occupier, it's got a D next to its name, which means it's won over the distance before. So one thing to take into account, it can do the distance. The horse above it, Jewellery, has a C and D next to his name, as you can see just above. That means he's done the course and the distance. So he's won on the course and he has won on the distance. If they have the C, it just means that they've won the course, doesn't mean they've won on the distance. Other pieces of form to follow are the letters BF. We haven't got anything here, but BF means beaten favourite. So the horse was a favourite, but it ended up getting beaten last time out. F, which means fallen. We can see that below with horse number 10. We've also got L, which means left at the start. R, which means refused to run. B, which means the horse was brought down. S, which means the horse slipped up. V, which means the race was a void race. And D, which means the horse was disqualified. All of these different types of form can be found in the description. There's a great little website to go on to check out the forms. Do go and check that out down in the description. But that's what I have to say on the form, and it's definitely worth noting. But remember, if a horse isn't performing too well, doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to perform well today, just due to the step up and step down in class options. So make sure you do have a look at the Racing Post and do have a look at the Racing Post app in the future. Right, now let's move on to amateur jockeys. Now, amateur jockeys are interesting in handicaps for different reasons. For example, horse number 1 has the jockey Paddy Bradley on board with the number 10 in brackets next to his name. Now, depending on the amount of winners that an amateur jockey rides, depends on how much they can claim. So, in this case, Paddy Bradley is claiming £10. This here is the maximum that you can claim. You cannot claim any more than £10. So, he's on board the top weight horse, and it may be that trainer wanted to put this jockey on board to reduce the weight on the horse. So definitely do take into account the fact that a jockey can claim weight, and it will make it slightly easier for the horse. However, sometimes it does pay to stay with the experienced jockey. So let's have a look in this race. We've got the jockey Sir Anthony McCoy, who, well, he's the best jump jockey to ever ride. Tactically, he will be better, and experience is on his side, but he doesn't have that option to claim any weight off the horse. So you do have to think of, the better jockeys, but you also have to look at the amateurs and see if there are any of the top amateurs. You can find these in the Racing Post. See if there are any top amateur jockeys that are worth following. So do have a look at that. And I have said this before, do go and check out the Racing Post. If you are after the races, look at the Racing Post. Buy the Racing Post in the morning. Have a read of it in the morning, and then leave it at home and go to the races and get a race card, just because they're a little bit more portable. Some people like to take the Racing Post to the races, and there's no problem with that, but definitely worth a read in the morning, the Racing Post. So that is my little tip for you guys. Okay, so the last thing that we are going to talk about here is the breeding side. As you can see, it has the letter B, which means breeding. And we're going to go to horse number 10 here in this race, and it has as the sire of the horse, the father of the horse, Medicienne, and Frab Jou as the dam, or the mother of the horse. Now, let's have a look at Medicienne to start off with. Medicienne was one of the top flat horses, won the Queen Anne Stakes at Ascot, won the Lockinge and the Eclipse. These are 3 big races on the flat, so should have a fair bit of speed. The dam had a fair bit of stamina herself, and this is usually where the stamina will come from. It usually comes from the dam's side, and the sire will provide a bit of the speed with the horse. This doesn't always happen, but I tend to look at it in this way, and it's definitely worth looking at. So if you do see some big names, I don't know, you can see it on the flat a lot. Galileo, who was a Derby winner, you see Milan, and you see Cafe Tara. These are 2 of the jump ones to follow. Have a look at the sires and see if they're top sires on the flat or jumps, and that can be a little bit of a help in terms of picking a winner. So do have a look at the breeding side, because it does make a lot of difference. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I hope it was useful for yourselves. Please do follow us on Twitter at HartOfRacing, where we do tweet out our videos. You can turn your notifications on for Twitter, and it will notify you every time that we upload a video. If you do have any questions, leave a comment down below. Please like this video, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will be posting a video up very shortly about Thursday and Friday's racing, including the racing news, so do look out for that one. But like I said, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you soon on the Heart of Racing. So thanks very much, cheers, and bye bye.